whether he is willing to go for an agreement or whether he wants to escalate and, as he put it, take the oil. I'm not sure what that would mean in the first place. But I think that one of the reasons we're staying in this very ambiguous, uncertain territory linguistically is because he has not decided what kind of end state he is willing to accept. So he's going to maintain this on again, off again until he is able to get what he thinks will benefit him most. I think that's possible for two reasons. First, because President Trump himself has said, well, we haven't restarted the war, but we might, and it might be much worse, and it might be devastating, and all of these things. On the other hand, are the countries of the world willing to consider the kind of fighting that's gone on in the last 24 hours as a ceasefire? Or at some point, are they going to say, no, you're still doing a war, it's just at a lower level? Do I think that there is going to be a full civilization ending escalation? No, I don't, because we have already heard language from the Trump administration indicating that they are looking for a framework where they can say, we won, this was all worthwhile, and they're able to go home. However, Iran has a voice in this too. And if they are unwilling for President Trump to say, we won, Iran was vanquished, then Iran is going to say, no, we weren't, and we're not going to stop either. So there's not only one person deciding this. Uh, it, it's difficult to know because he has gone back and forth several times. I mean, there is no nuclear weapon. So the question is there nuclear material? Is the focus of a negotiation going to be what Iran promises in terms of future enrichment or the development of weapons or that sort of thing? That's one thing. The other is the very practical issue that the world cares that oil is able to move through the Strait of Hormuz. And of course, that was closed after the United States and Israel attacked Iran. So at some point, President Trump may have to say, well, I was able to get Iran to agree to reopen the strait, and we'll talk about nuclear stuff later. He may have enough pressure from other countries to do that. Do you mean, will Iran succeed in using its proxies to fight against the United States? Could you rephrase the question? Well, it definitely shows the world that the United States is not winning, because if Iran is able to leverage, to use its ability to control the strait, then President Trump cannot say that he has been successful. So from that point of view, I think Iran would say, even embarrassing the president of the United States would seem a win to Iran. But I think Iran is also looking at how it is going to position itself in the future. And this is why they're having side conversations with Arab countries in the Gulf, with Turkey, with Pakistan, with others. Yes, absolutely. Any negotiation can have an outcome if both sides agree that that is an outcome. So, it's in some ways a very simple question. If there is a decision that we are going to end the fighting, we both sides, then they will agree to something and they will say, this is success because we had a negotiation, we agreed on definitions. So the easy answer is that absolutely they can agree. Whether they are still working to agree on what the negotiations are going to be about. So we're nowhere close to a common desire to find an agreement that they can both claim. I think there's an enormous difference because one is a large question that has been discussed for a long period of time. There has been military action about it previously. There have been agreements about it previously. But there is no immediate practical impact. In other words, Iran does not have nuclear weapons. Therefore, Iran is not threatening to use nuclear weapons. The strait, which again was only closed after the US and Israeli attack, is causing a very real and practical impact, more on some countries than others, but around the world, gas prices have gone up, and the production of all goods is going to continue to go up over the next many months, if not years. So right now, the closure of the strait is a more significant impact on the world as a whole. I doubt if Iran is going to agree that it promises to protect American interests. I think that there could well be an agreement that they will not attack American interests. And they will put in some language that says, unless, of course, we are attacked ourselves. That is something they could do. They are not going to put themselves in the position where the United States could call on them to take action on their behalf as if it were a proxy of the United States. I don't see any Iranian government of any stripe agreeing to that. As this has gone on, I think we see Pakistan and Turkey to an extent, and some other countries becoming increasingly frustrated with the United States, even if they are very concerned about Iran, that the United States has not been easy to work with because it's been on again, off again, lack of clarity about what the strategy is, and not talking to these various partners in advance. So the role of other countries is going to be increasingly important. And to an extent, whoever is in charge of Iran effectively may feel that if they have the ear of more countries, if there are more countries that understand its position, let's put it that way, that they are better placed to agree to something. They don't feel as isolated. I know it sounds like I'm taking Iran's side. I'm not. But I do think it's important to understand that the United States cannot decide unilaterally that the war is over.